It's break time, but we're also a little behind schedule. I'm going to ask Richard Jimerson to come up and give a customer survey report, and then we'll go to break. So just hold tight. We'll get to one more.
Thank you, John. I'm Richard Jimerson. I'm going to give you an update on the survey. A lot of you were probably present for the meeting last 6 months ago when we actually did an update of the survey for all of you. What we did is we took the survey from the third party that actually conducted it on our behalf, and we give you an untouched, full version of what they had given us. You saw all the raw data, everything that they had given us. There were some real positives in there, and there were some real negatives in there. And we want to let you know that we've been working hard as an organization over the last 6 months to start making improvements inside the organization to answer a lot of the things that you had to say to us inside this survey. We will be doing another one of these surveys in about 1 year from now. We'll be getting that started, and we'll be conducting it again. And it'll allow us to create some markers and actually see where we've made progress or perhaps where we've regressed, where we can start doing some more work inside that area. Some of the post-survey activity you've actually heard in some of the reports that have just preceded this presentation. We've started making improvements in areas where you pointed out to us where there were some shortcomings. You know, some of those things had to do with refining registration process documentation, some of the navigation on the site, and things along those lines. We've been doing a lot of work inside that space. One of the main things that was actually called out on the survey was a desire for us to actually incorporate more internet governance content into our meeting agendas. And I think that you see that we dedicated a good portion of our time yesterday on that topic specifically, and we're starting to pay more attention to that going forward, of course. But one of the more significant things that we did inside the organization during the course of conducting this survey and as a result of the survey results that we got is we added customer advocate review and approval to all changes to our customer-facing products and services inside the organization. I was inserted as a customer advocate inside the company, so every time there is a change that's made that will touch the customer, that will touch anything that you see or anything that involves an interaction with you, it requires review and approval by me inside the organization as the customer advocate. I take a pure customer advocate view of everything that's going on inside the organization on your behalf. And that's been an interesting process over the last 6 months, but I think that we've made some really good decisions as a result of it as an organization over the last 6 months. Another thing that we do to receive feedback from you, in addition to this large survey that we did earlier this year, is we do transaction surveys. So every time there's a request for IPv4 address space, IPv6 address space, or an autonomous system number, we provide a link to a transaction survey. And quite a few of you do use those transaction surveys. The results are reviewed on a daily basis by the director, Leslie, in that department. And she regularly reports that information to both the chief operating officer and to myself. And we sit down and we have discussions about that. But Leslie and her team, they are making adjustments in real time as they're receiving feedback from you. For instance, Leslie brought up just at the microphone a few moments ago that they had received some comments about perhaps we're asking a question when the information is already available, and Leslie's constantly coaching her teams based on the feedback that we're receiving in those transaction surveys. One of the other things that we did to hear more from you in terms of what we're doing as an organization and how we can improve is we launched a feedback button on our website. Now that was on our public site, and it's also available inside ARIN Online, and we received pretty good traffic on that over the last 6 months. We launched that on April 5th of this year, and here's some stats through October 1st of this year. About 1/3 of everything that we received over this feedback button is for the intended use, the type of things that we were looking for when we put up that feedback button. And I think that's a pretty good result. We were kind of afraid that maybe it would be less than that, but 1/3 is really good amount of interactions with us for the intended use. So some of this stuff is more internet help desk related, and I'll give you a few examples of what that looks like. 29 of them were stop attacking me type messages. And the largest grouping was tests and spam. Early on, we did a lot of tests to the feedback button, so I counted those. But there are people trying to sell our organization, everything from the type of services that you provide in the room to furniture for our offices and things like that using this feedback button. It's pretty interesting, but we do get that too. Here's some samples of what the intended usage of that feedback button were. Someone had told us the site is slow and fails to load pages. It eventually loads after many retries. It's most problematic when filling out forms. So this was someone one day, they were in ARIN Online, and they were submitting requests. They were filling out forms inside ARIN Online, and they noticed that things were moving slow. They submitted something on this feedback button, exact intent of what we had that there for, and we were immediately able to contact our ops team inside the organization, and they actually did. They found some processes that were going on that were slowing things down, and they immediately corrected this. And we were able to get back to that customer and let them know that we did that. And also, this fixed this for everyone else who might have been having that problem who hadn't spoken up yet. So that's a great use of this feedback button, and it's really helping out. Here's another example of the intended use. An organization sent something to the feedback button, and they said, person 1 no longer works for us. How can he be removed? In addition, I would like to add person 2 and let him have the same functionality as person 1. Can this be done? Thanks. So basically, this is an organization where they had one individual that was managing all of their interactions with ARIN, and that person left the organization. No one else in the organization understood how ARIN worked or exactly how they would manage the resources, and they couldn't find the place on the website where they might go find out that information or how to contact us otherwise, so they used this feedback button. This actually helped the customer, and it helped us in 2 ways. It helped the customer because they got a response from us and they got the information they needed. The way that it helped ARIN, the organization, is there was a customer with a need and we were able to immediately help them. There were other channels they could have gone through and we would have been able to help them there too. But a second important thing it did is it told us that it might not be obvious to some of the customers that are using our services where to actually go and get this done. So it helps us when we're improving our registration, documentation, and those types of things on the website to get this type of feedback, and it's been very helpful. And here I'm a little bit faster. Sample, internet help desk uses. You can just read through these. Hey, my internet's not working, my games aren't working right, and can you fix it for me? We get a lot of that. That's kind of interesting. We really can't help this kid, but we sent them a message back and responded to them. This other person forgot their password from Facebook and Yahoo, and they want us to help them log in again. We get a lot of stuff like that. It's kind of interesting. We also get that at Hostmaster. Some people want us to stop attacking them. Someone saw that an address in the TIN network was attacking their network. And so they went to Whois and they found out that that's registered ARIN. So obviously ARIN was attacking them, and we get that a lot. Someone else, you can see there, had a similar problem, and they want us to stop spying on them. That's it. The feedback button's been great, and it's been wonderful working with you guys over the last 6 months, and you've got a great team inside the organization that really does care about what we do for you on your behalf, and we're going to continue to do that. Thank you very much.
Any questions for Richard? Any questions for Richard? Okay, thank you, Richard. Excellent. Okay, we're going to move to break, and we're going to come back most expeditiously. So it says that the break...